Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Bob Books here for the Gilligalloo. Well, here we are in the banks of the Ottawa River this morning, getting into the tail end of September, early part of October. Migration certainly is, in the latter stages and that kind of thing. And most of the world knows of the disasters that we've had here locally. We had 6 tornadoes touch down here in the area over the past weekend. We have a high humidity morning this morning, and thunderstorms and threats of possible tornadoes loom large again today. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about migration, the fact that we're in the latter stages of that as we reach our way into October here in Eastern Ontario 2018. But what's the effects of animals and birds and animals with these natural disasters that take place? We are so thankful and grateful for that there has been no loss of life in all these tornadoes. There's certainly been human impact and personal destruction of homes and loss of lives. Businesses gone down, and we certainly are doing everything we can. And in fact, we have a tub at the store set up on the counter as a relief fund that people can deposit money, and a lot of our customers are certainly doing so. When they come in to purchase, they put their change in there and or tuck in a $20 bill as they're going by. So that's a fantastic thing that everybody can do, and we're all going to do everything we can do to help our fellow humans here on the planet. But what about the birds and animals in these natural disasters, and what can we do there? And I think the big key is been something that's been talked about a lot, but it's citizen science. And what that means is that as a person going through this destruction and things, so if you think about particularly an area close by called Arlington Woods, we're talking about old growth trees that were there. So we're talking about 140-year-old trees in a neighborhood that is natural habitat for tons of different birds and animals. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about was the obvious, the care and attention given to all the families and the losses that were taking place. But one of the things we talk about is citizen science. And in the event of technology today, so we have with our smartphones or our tablets or any of those things, I think it's a real opportunity for us to document any activity or any loss of bird or animal life that we see in these storms. And maybe you don't recognize the bird, maybe you aren't able to ID it, but if you can just snap a picture of it with your phone and document where it was and how many, perhaps there's multiple species, particularly at this time of migration. If there happen to be a cluster of similar species or the same species of birds together to migrate as it happens. Well, one of the key things, people come in the store and been talking about this, and one of the things that I've noticed is that prior to Friday's storm, all of a sudden there was a void of birds around. There was no, we didn't have our normal visits to our feeder that you can see behind us here. We haven't seen a hummingbird, or hadn't had a report of a hummingbird prior to 2 or 3 days prior to the storm, which is fantastic because, as we've said before, hummingbirds migrate at night. They rely on the trade winds to take them south. It's the same way as they rely on the winds to bring them north in the spring. So those birds are gone. So citizen science is a great thing. So document anything that you can see that you think is relevant, or even if you are uncertain, just document what and where you saw what you saw. If it happens to be dead birds or dead animals, whatever, as in the wake of the storms, just document that. And or if you have seen, perhaps these storms have brought something here that wasn't planning on being here. So we need to document that just to kind of see. So there's a couple of avenues that we can do that. There's a site I'm not tremendously familiar with. It's called iNaturalist. It's an app that you can load on your phone. It does cost some money, but there is a section on iNaturalist where you can document post-disaster results of your findings as citizen science, as we call it. So if you got the boots on the ground and you're going through and you're doing some things and you have an opportunity to identify something and or a circumstance, by all means document that circumstance. The other thing is eBirds Canada, obviously, or there's even eBirds Ontario. If you want to go to that site, and it's predominantly meant to document sightings and locations of specific birds. But through these disasters, if you happen to see dead birds or injured birds, or so we have the Wild Bird Care Center close by. We have Safe Wings that are picking up birds that are hitting window strikes and things. So as citizen scientists, we can assist all of these organizations by documenting and helping pick up the birds that we happen to see that have died because of the storms. The one storm was classed at 260 km/h winds here that just sheared houses completely apart. So you can imagine what happens to plants and animals and birds and things that we have. So here we have a continued loss of habitat again. We have a loss, and potential loss of life to birds and animals, and we're so grateful that no human life has been lost through this. Anyway, just wanted to just quick toss out there and talk about that. Anybody that has any questions or comments, certainly get in touch and we can kind of expand on the conversation, but I just kind of wanted to hit it hard and fast this morning, and everybody stay safe, and I hope all the recovery process goes well. And remember, we do have a disaster relief fund set up at the store. If anybody wants to donate to that, they certainly can do so. Thank you, and have yourself a wonderful day.